So let's do that settling in. You can lengthen up, drop your shoulders back. Take a nice couple of giant breaths in and exhale through the mouth. I'd like to share something this morning. We set an intention at the beginning of class, and I hope, if you're not coming to class in some morning, that before you even get out of bed, or maybe while you're relishing your first coffee of the day, that you set an intention for your day. Shape your future. Do not fear it. And so I'll just read this. Thank you, Susan, for sending me this. Today is a good day to be kind, to be brave, to see the good, to live with empathy, to be grateful, to let go, to help others, to be generous, to try or to dare to try new things, to take action, to live with grace, to care. Today is a gift. Today is a good day. Today is a gift. So as you settle in and close your eyes and notice your breath and scan the body and become fully present to the here and the now, perhaps you'd like to set an intention for your day. You can settle into a Ujjayi breath, noisy enough so that you could hear it, slow enough, perhaps 6 to 8 counts to get to the top of your breath, 6 to 8 counts to get to the bottom of your exhalation. Drop the chin down to the chest. As you breathe in, drag the chin all the way over to one side. Peek over the shoulder. And then exhale down. Inhale all the way over to the other side. Peek over the shoulder. And exhale down. Lift the chin up. Arch the spine, drop right into a back bend as you lift the chin up. Feel a nice lengthening on the front of the throat. And release. And then drop the right ear to the shoulder. Feeling and noticing the lengthening through the left side. Inhale up and exhale the left ear to the shoulder. And come back up, and then turn your head side to side. Release the hands down to the side, and then inhale them up. Again, let this be a back bend here as you look up. Grab hold of the left wrist, stretch over to the right. Inhale up. And exhale over to the left. Inhale up. Exhale, reach around behind you. Clasp the hands together. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other and then fold forward. Turn your head side to side. You could bring one shoulder to the knee and then over to the other side. And come all the way back up. Release the hands. Make big circles with the shoulders. And then reverse the circle. Arch the spine, round the spine. Nice little Roll right from the tailbone through the lower back, mid back, up to the neck. And then bring your shoulders up to your ears and squeeze. Tight, 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 tight. Take a deep breath in. And release. Bring the shoulder blades back behind you. Squeeze. Tight, 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 tight. Take a deep breath in. And release. Open the fingers wide. Close your eyes. Open the mouth wide. And release. Bring the hands down onto the mat. Walk them as far forward as you can. And reach your sit bones back. You might even have your head dropped onto the mat. Walk your hands all the way over to the right. Peek over the right shoulder. Press the left sit bone back. And then walk your hands all the way back to center and keep going all the way to the left. Press the right sit bone back. Come back to center. Draw yourself up into table. And then from table, shake the legs out. And again, arching and rounding the spine, cat and cow. Tuck the tailbone under, round the spine, look towards the knees, and then tilt the hips, drop all the way down, look forward. So notice if there's any sounds in the spine, the neck, the shoulders, and then open the knees a little wider, reach the hands as far forward as you can. Drop down onto the forearms, drop the chest towards the mat, and tug the hips back. You can have the chin or nose or forehead on the mat. And if you can reach the hips so they settle and sit on the heels, you could wiggle back, bringing them right to the heels. If that doesn't work for your feet or your knees, then hips are up in the air. That's still a really great stretch. Do a little wiggle side to side. We want to immerse ourselves in sensation. Stretches, noticing compression, noticing when the muscles start to quiver, because maybe we've had a long hold. Walk your hands over to the left again. Right hand can rest on top of the left. Reach back with the right sit bone. Just one more way to stretch. And when you're still in bed in the morning, or when you just wake up and you're ready to get up, you could think about how many ways can I stretch right here, right now, before I even land my feet on the mat, on the floor. And then walk your hands back to center, all the way over to the right. What a great way, what a gift you give yourself to decide you're going to stretch before you really even start your day. Or to make that decision before you even get out of bed. It's going to be a good day. Today is a gift. And then come back to center, come all the way up into table. Curl your toes under, lift the hips up and back into our downward dog, and walk the heels out. Press down with the fingertips, drop the crown of the head right down. You can just relax the neck. And up and down on the toes. So feeling and noticing the arches of the feet, the ball of the foot, the individual toes. Bend your knees and reach your hips back as far as you can. And now straighten the legs. Press the heels towards the mat. Come right on to your toes. Come forward so the whole body weight now is over the hands. So your butt might be way up in the air. That's all right. And then press down with the hands to come back into downward dog. Come back up onto the toes. Come forward. Just a little bit of weight bearing. And then go back. Press those heels down towards the mat. And then up on the toes. Walk your hands forward this time. So instead of having your butt up in the air, you end up arriving in plank. Once in plank, press the heels away. Engage the pelvic floor. Now relax your shoulders. See if you can, just maybe a little pulsing side to side. Crown of the head reaches forward. Draw the navel up towards the spine. And you could be on your fists, on the palms, on the forearms. Just a little noticing how's the core this morning. Come right over the toes so that you're on the top of your feet now in upward dog. And you could hover with the knees off the mat, or you could drop the knees and the legs right down on the mat in upward dog. Hold, breathe, and then drop right down onto your belly. And we'll do a little shake out with the wrists, and then up and down with cobra. Hands underneath the shoulders, tuck your elbows in. Inhale up, and exhale down. So instead of thinking about coming up as high as you can, think warming up the lower back, acknowledging shoulders and wrists, moving with the breath. And then let's move into Salabhasana. So a little bit more work for the core. Reach the hands forward. Do a little wiggle with the hips. Wiggle the fingers too, just to release that even short weight bearing. Sometimes you could feel it on the wrists and the hands. Foreheads on the mat. Inhale, lift the left leg, right arm. You can lift the head up. Crown of the head reaches forward. So you're not trying to look up towards the ceiling. Your gaze is still the mat, but you can lift the head up and then release down. Inhale, lift the right leg up and left arm, and come right up and reach forward and back at the same time so you can feel your abdominal muscles start to work, and then release down. Inhale, both arms, both legs reach forward and back at the same time, and exhale down. Inhale up. This time as you exhale, reach the hands around behind you as if you're trying to reach for the feet. And hold and breathe. And release down, turn your head to one side. You can do a little rocking from the hips side to side. And then bring your hands forward once again. And we'll try that once again. So notice how this feels on your belly. The abdominal muscles that are working, and the hip points, the pubic bone. Maybe you need an extra little blanket. Let's try Salabhasana again. Inhale up. So you reach forward and back at the same time. Shoulders are engaged here. And notice as you breathe in and out, there's a rocking. And then you can reach around behind you, coming up a little higher. And release down. Turn your head to the right. Let the hips rock from side to side. Hands come underneath the shoulders. Tuck your elbows in. Inhale up into Cobra once again. Exhale, reach up with the hips. Stretch back into puppy pose. This time the hips are going to be way up in the air. You can be right on the forearms, forehead on the mat, chest dropping towards the floor. And then come all the way up and grab hold of your cushion again. Bring the bottoms of the feet together, and instead of drawing them really close, bring them a little further away than you normally would. Going to hinge forward, take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, fold forward. So notice if there's any places you can soften here. If you are perhaps tensing up the shoulders to compensate for, the work in the hips, or if your knees feel compromised in any way, shape, or form, you can explore Baddha Konasana, butterfly, by bringing the heels closer in or further away. Or some days it just seems like maybe you need to do a half butterfly and have one leg out to the side. You can make a big difference by choosing maybe this morning to stay with a straight spine for the practice instead of rounded spine. Tune in. Up, nice and slow. Bring the knees back together. Straighten out the legs. Your hips a Swedish massage. Open the feet wider. And last night in class, I invited you to remember you could do all of these things against the wall. Baddha Konasana against the wall is really nice. This wide-legged forward fold is really nice against the wall. What it does, I think, is take the lower back out of the equation. So if you're experiencing, lower back distress on a regular basis, I encourage you to stay with the straight spine, because that's what happens when you're lying flat on your back and your legs are up against the wall. You've got that straight spine. So that's always an option instead of rounding the spine. Because even with a straight spine, you could drop your head down. And remember, you can have little cushions, blankets, or rolled up washcloths underneath the knees. Or if your hamstrings are really tight, you're going to have the knees slightly bent and maybe the feet a little closer to each other, maybe not quite so wide apart. Walk your hands. You might need to come up a little bit. Walk your hands over to the right. You can now keep both hands on your leg or on the mat, or keep the right hand on the leg and then open up to the left side. Bring the left arm up and over. Press the left sit bone down. Peek up. Hold and breathe. And then release the left hand down onto the mat and the right hand in front of you on the mat. Walk your hands back to center and then slowly over to the left. And remember, it's your class. I'm just your guide, so it might feel more restful or right for you this morning to keep both hands on the leg or on the mat. Or you can open up the right side and peek up, reach the right arm up, and then over to the left. Right away, I think the right sit bone wants to jump up. See if you could keep it planted back. Maybe a little pressure with the left hand against the foot. Reaching back, pressing forward, and breathe. Keep going. Keep breathing. Release the right hand down onto the mat. Walk the left hand, come all the way back to center, and then help the legs get back together and give the hamstrings and the knees, inner legs, outer legs, adductors, abductors a rub. Good. And then from here, we'll come back into hands and knees and move into a lunge. So if you've got your blocks handy, grab the blocks. We'll start with the right foot forward, gentle stretch. The left knee is on top of the left hips right on top of the left knee. More vigorous stretch. Wiggle the right foot forward or walk the left knee back. And then hands on the mat. You can have them be on the fists. You could be on the palms, tips of the fingers. Settle into the stretch, and if you feel like you've gone too far, then wiggle that right foot, the front foot back a little bit. Walk the right foot out to the right, and then bring the right hand to the inside edge of the foot. You can drop down onto the elbows here, right on the mat, or right on the blocks, and keep the right knee pressing into the right shoulder. If dropping down is too much, then come back up right away. And hold and breathe. Come back up onto your hands and then wiggle the right foot in so that you can take that right arm to the other side of the foot. Once again, bring your hips back, walk your hands back or your blocks back, and wave away with the right foot. Just a nice release. And then come forward again and really planting that right foot, bring one hand up on the knee. Notice how that feels with the left knee. If that feels safe, bring the left hand up onto the right knee as well. Lift the chest up and drop your shoulder blades back. Engage the pelvic floor. Feel that pelvis now is stable, really engaging the muscles around the pelvis Inhale the hands up. And relax the shoulders back and down, and then drop back as you peek up. So the right foot is pressing down, the weight's on the right foot, left knee, top of the left foot. Notice your core strength here, and still lots of work. Bring the hands back around behind you now. Clasp the hands together, squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. See if the arms want to lift, and then if they don't want to lift, let them rest at the waistline. If they're lifting, then again you can move into a back bend here, lifting the chest up and peeking up. And then release the hands all the way down to the right, or right onto the mat. And begin to shift forward slightly. So the knee now is coming forward over the right foot. So a hyperextension of the knee, which is great for some people. For most people, it's absolutely fine. If you have knee issues, maybe your knee just doesn't bend this way, or your ankle joint. Look down at your right ankle. So there's so much more compression at the front of that ankle now, but maybe you're getting a nice stretch with calf and Achilles tendon. And now press down with the foot. Come back up into your lunge, curl the back toe under, lift the left knee up off the mat. And we can do a little forward and back here. And then see if you can straighten out both legs. So you might want to use the blocks here underneath the hands. We're going to come up higher, straighten both legs, and reach your hips back behind you. So pressing the left heel down, bring the toes up on the right foot. And then come forward again, bring your right foot back, and left foot all the way up to the front of your mat. Drop the right knee down. Maybe noticing if you want to have the blanket underneath the right knee here. And keep wiggling that left foot forward until the knee's on top of the heel. Super important for this longer hold especially. And once you're set up, bring your attention to your breath, the Ujjayi breath. Notice what moves in your body as you breathe in and out. See if you could check into all the sensations, the stretch, the compression. And you can walk the left foot out to the left slightly. Take the left hand to the inside edge of the left foot. You can stay up here. We're going to do about another 5 or 6 long deep breaths here. So you could stay up on the hands or drop down onto the elbows. back up onto the hands. Wiggle the left foot in and bring your hips back. Walk your hands back. Wave away with the left foot. Just feeling that nice release. And then come forward again. Reestablish your base so you feel grounded, and then see if the hands want to come up. And I think it's so good to move slowly, because sometimes you realize what works on one side doesn't work on the other side. What worked yesterday might not work today. So really paying attention. And the hands can come up, reach up and back. Hold and breathe. You can see if the hips want to drop a little lower. Keep the pelvic floor engaged. Pay attention. And then you could bring your hands around behind you. See if the arms want to float up. And then release the hands and drop the hands back down beside the foot. Curl the back toe under and lift the right knee up off the mat. Just a little forward and back. Straighten out both legs. Walk the hands back and press down with the right heel. This is when the blocks are really handy. If you've got lots of length in the legs, it's hard to reach the floor here, perhaps, with the hands. Come forward again. Bring your left foot back into downward dog. Walk the heels out. And drop the knees down. And curl the toes under. Rest your hips on your heels. Let's come all the way up, actually. And just notice how that feels on the hips. Go right to the lower back. You know, when we engage the pelvic floor and start to really work and keep the pelvis steady, we're also using those lower back muscles all the way around, really. So it's good to pay attention. We're going to move into and hold for a bit, a squat. So if you want to stand up and then move into a squat with the elbows on the knees, you could do that. If you want to come down lower, and we're going to be here for about a minute in a squat. So maybe you want to just come right onto your back and go into happy baby. So listen to your own instincts. And then release your hands and straighten up with the legs. Bring your hands onto the knees and come all the way up. So that's one way to do a squat. Let's try Utkatasana, and we'll have a longer holding in Utkatasana, just so you could feel. And then maybe next time we drop into a squat, you can think, I'm not going way down low. This is my squat instead. So chair pose. Slightly different than a squat because the feet are parallel to each other instead of out and heels in. Inhale the hands forward. Exhale, reach back behind you with the hips. It's called chair squat. It's like you're searching for that elusive stool or chair behind you. Then engage the pelvic floor, soft gaze, and breathe. Come up nice and slow. Good. So all that work on our knees and quadriceps and hips, let's stretch it out with Vrikshasana. This one, you want to have maybe one hand against the wall and then grab hold of the other foot. And if that doesn't work, if your knee doesn't bend quite with that degree of angle, you could hold on to the pant leg here, or you could hold on to, use a strap and lasso the foot. The other hand comes up. You could walk it up the wall. If you want that nice quadricep stretch, maybe a little gentle pulsing with the heel towards the butt. And lift the chest up and breathe. And it's really nice to have the wall here so you can stay a little longer. Even if you only have one fingertip touching the wall, it can make a difference. Because then it's not only that you have the stretch and the quadricep, you have all that work on the right or on the standing leg. And if you've got the wall, you can more easily move into dancer. Beginning to hinge forward, reaching with the top hand, and then reaching back with the bent knee, pressing it into the hand, pressing the hand into the foot. Then release. So you turn so the other hand is against the wall. Shift your weight into the leg closest to the wall and then hold on to the other foot. And it doesn't matter here if you're holding on to the inside edge of the foot or the outside edge of the foot. It's good to notice and then maybe change it up sometimes. Or maybe you're holding on to the pant leg. So if you can absolutely never sit on your knees because of knee issues, try doing this on a regular basis because there isn't any body weight on the knee, but you have that angle, you have the angle of the knee bent, and you can hinge forward here. Dancer's pose as well, and then reach back with the foot. So we're going to do our standing sun salutation. If you would like to have a drink, quick, have a drink. If you want to use the chair, grab the chair. And you could also come to the front of the mat and then have your blocks on each side as well. Gauge the pelvic floor, lift up and out of the waistline, shoulders are back and down. Remember, almost all the teachers, they all seem to have a slightly different twist on the sun salutation. So if you have a favorite way of doing your sun salutation, you could just do that. But let there be an attention to your breath. So beginning with exhale, and then inhale the arms out and up. Look up at the hands as they come into prayer position. Exhale, down in front. Inhale, up and back, gentle back bend. Exhale, full forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, drop back down. Inhale the right leg back into lunge. We've definitely been here already. Exhale, left foot back, downward dog. Inhale forward into plank. Hold as you exhale. Inhale, drop the hips down, upward dog. And curl the toes under, all the way back into downward dog. Inhale the right foot up to the front of your space. Back in our lunge. Exhale, left foot comes up. Bring your head towards your knees. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, bring the hands into prayer position all the way down in front of you. Follow them with your gaze. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, full forward fold. Come up halfway as you breathe in. Exhale, drop back down. Inhale, the left foot back, lunge. Exhale, right foot back, downward dog. Inhale, up onto your toes, come forward into plank and hold as you exhale. Inhale, drop the hips down, upward dog. Exhale, back into downward dog. Inhale, the left foot back up to the front of your space. Exhale, right foot up, bring your head towards your knees. Inhale, up and back. And exhale, hands all the way down. Good. So let's try that again. And remember to stay with the breath. So if I'm breathing too slow for you, then stay with your breath and just let the flow come from your breath. Feet are parallel to each other, maybe a little space between the feet, hip width apart. Gauge the pelvic floor, lift up and out of the waistline. Inhale the hands out and up. Look up at the hands, and as you exhale, the hands come down in front. Follow them with your gaze. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, full forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, drop back down. Inhale, the right foot back. You can look forward. Let's pause here for just a quick moment. So in lunge, when I look around at a class, I cannot quite often see in the lunge, everybody's curled down because it's a flow. So they've sort of lost the integrity of the lunge. They're curled down. So lunges, it's always a feeling as if on your mark, get ready, start, go. So keep your chin up a bit. It's not that you're looking straight ahead, but you're looking forward at least in a lunge. Inhale. Exhale the left leg back, downward dog. Inhale, forward into plank. You might need to reach back with the feet or walk forward with the hands. Inhale, drop the knees down, upward dog. Exhale, curl the toes under, come all the way back into downward dog. Inhale, the right foot up to the front of your space. Back in that lunge. Exhale, left foot up, bring your head towards your knees. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, up halfway. Exhale, drop back down. Inhale, the left foot back. Exhale, right leg back, downward dog. Inhale, forward into plank. Hold as you exhale. Inhale, drop down into upward dog. Exhale, back, downward dog. Inhale, the left foot up to the front of your space. Exhale, right foot up, bring your head towards your knees. Inhale, up and back. And exhale, lay hands down. And breathe. So from here, it's Shavasana time. So slowly make your way down onto your back. Maybe you want to hug your knees to your chest, do a little rocking first, maybe happy baby. Have a drink of water. And then work your way down onto your back from wherever you are and settle in for Shavasana. Listen to the sound of your breath. Slow it down just for maybe 2 whole breaths. See how long you can make your breaths. I'd like to share something that is really relevant to the reading at the beginning of class. So I'm going to just put it on for you to listen to. It's about today being a gift and being in a state of gratitude. Just a reading.
think this is just another day in your life, it's not just another day, it's the one day that is given to you today. It's given to you. It's a gift. It's the only gift that you have right now, and the only appropriate response is gratefulness. If you do nothing else but to cultivate that response to the great gift that this unique day is, if you learn to respond as if it were the first day in your life and the very last day, then you will have spent this day very well. Begin by opening your eyes and be surprised that you have eyes you can open. That incredible array of colors that is constantly offered to us for pure enjoyment. Look at the sky. We so rarely look at the sky. We so rarely note how different it is from moment to moment with clouds coming and going. We just think of the weather, and even of the weather we don't think of all the many nuances of weather. We just think of good weather and bad weather. This day, right now, has unique weather. Maybe a kind that will never exactly in that form come again. The formation of clouds in the sky will never be the same that is right now. Open your eyes, look at that. Look at the faces of people whom you meet. Each one has an incredible story behind their face. A story that you could never fully fathom. Not only their own story, but the story of their ancestors. We all go back so far. And in this present moment, on this day, all the people you meet, all that life from generations and from so many places all over the world, flows together and meets you here like a life-giving water if you only open your heart and drink. Open your heart to the incredible gifts that civilization gives to us. You flip a switch and there is electric light. You turn a faucet and there is warm water and cold water and drinkable water. It's a gift that millions and millions in the world will never experience. So these are just a few of an enormous number of gifts to which we can open your heart. And so I wish you that you will open your heart to all these blessings and let them flow through you, that everyone whom you will meet on this day will be blessed by you. Just by your eyes, by your smile, by your touch, just by your presence. Let the gratefulness overflow into blessing all around you. And then it will really be a good day.
And you Slowly roll over onto your side. And bring yourself up to a seated position. Bring your hands to your heart. Affirm to yourself, I am at peace. I am content.